Welcome to Kitten's Catnip. Today's story is called Anni and Mosity. This is an audiobook given to you by Smitten Kitten. This is part 2. The shadow had the biggest smile on his face. The employee came back in. Do you need anything else? Anni was extremely uncomfortable. I want to go home. We can't go home. He'll know where we live, answered Mosity. For a second, they began to stare at the shadow. The strange inconvenience was a surprise to them. They never had a shadow following them around before. Nothing really happened when the food arrived at the table. Mosity kept her eyes on the door, almost like a cat waiting for a companion to come home, but with fear. They conversated about what to do next. How are we supposed to get out of here? Mosity was determined to become protective over her sister. We have to call the police and make a police report. So if anything happens, someone will help us figure it out. Anni didn't like that idea. Why are we in a situation where we need to call the police? Why is he here? What does he want? Why is he following us? Mosity politely ignored Anni and called 911. They sat there for a minute. Mosity explained what had happened over the phone. After the phone call, Anni looked outside. The shadow of the man was gone. As Anni was looking outside, she could see the police parked by the side of the building they were in. They stepped out of their cars and began to talk to the girls.
We heard there was a disturbance around here, said the police officer on the right. Anni happily told them there was a man trying to force his way into our performance, and he followed us here. Mosity gave them a chance and said, "Is there anything you can do?" The officer on the left said, "This is a big city, ma'am. We're going to have to take a look and see if anyone fits the description." What did he look like again? Mosity answered. He had a gray hoodie, black shoes with a yin and yang tattoo on his right hand. Very tall. The police officer on the right said, "We're going to have to call back up and search the city." Anni was very excited. She thought to herself, maybe now we can go home. That is, until she heard the side comment from the police officer on the right. "I don't know why they're expecting us to find him now, at 9 p.m. on a Saturday evening." Anni's heart sank. She felt that the police officers weren't even going to try. She ran to her sister, who had her hand on the outside of the door waiting for her to come in. "See, problem solved," Mosity said confidently. Anni began to cry. "Can we just leave now while he's distracted?" Mosity was shocked by her reaction. She began to wonder why her sister was so worried. She attempted to comfort her. "I don't know why you're so upset. It's their job to keep us safe. They train for moments like this." Anni stopped walking away and turned around abruptly. "That doesn't mean they're going to do their job. They probably wrote us off and went back to the station for donuts." Mosity felt like that was a disrespectful comment and decided to figure out why she was so angry. "What would make you say something like that?" Anni felt she should be vulnerable at the moment. That cop didn't even expect to find him. and he left us with the opposite impression. I heard him say it. Basically, he was wondering why we even called. I don't trust those guys. We need another plan. Mosity instantly was just as worried as Annie was. You're right. If that happened, then we have to leave while he's trying to get away. The girls quickly got their stuff and got into the car and drove. They left the police to their own devices. In the car, they began to come up with a plan. Can we just go home? Annie asked. Mosity became even more worried for her sister. If we go home, he's going to follow us. We can't. How is he gonna follow us on foot while we're in the car? I want to be in a warm bed. Mosity agreed and knew that she had a point. Okay. We should be careful around this part of town, okay? Always. Deal? Annie stuck out her pinky finger and swore. Deal. Soon after their pinky promise, they pulled into the driveway of their house. They felt as if a weight was off of their back. Both of them comforted each other to the point where the shadow at the door was already a distant memory. They laughed and joked about the show they had just had and went about their evening. I guess you can say they both have a habit of dismissing things quickly. Annie went to sleep while Mosity took a bath. She got down in the water and closed her eyes, and sleep creeped up on her until she heard a whisper. Are you sleepy? She instantaneously jumped up and looked around the room. She couldn't see anyone, but a part of her knew something was there. She got out of the tub, put her robe on. As she headed towards the door, she saw something familiar. It was the same shadow she saw by the door of the restaurant, with a smile. She ran out of the doorway. Annie! She shouted. She dashed to her door and opened it. She found that no one was in there. She turned around and a haze came over her eyes. And the last thing she remembers that day is hitting the floor. I really hope that you'll be waiting for part 3. It's fun having you guys listen to me. See you around.